Now here's the craziest thing, and this is something that you did not get to see, thank God, because it was the most embarrassing moment of my life. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dustin Dean, and I am a professional mentalist and magician. I have been entertaining audiences across the US for about 10 years, give or take, but I'm mostly known for my work in debunking psychic abilities. Most of my content I make over on TikTok, where I have over 500,000 followers, over 50 million views, purely for psychic debunking, telekinesis, psychic mediums, etc. I offer a challenge for $10,000 if anyone can prove that they have these psychic abilities under my conditions. I was really influenced by James Randi as well as Houdini himself, who was a huge psychic debunker of his time. But that's not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video to talk about my experience on Penn and Teller's Fool Us on the CW network. A couple months ago, I made my national television debut, and I was invited to go to Las Vegas to perform in front of two of magic's biggest legends. As you can imagine, Penn and Teller were huge inspirations to me. Just like James Randi and just like Houdini, Penn and Teller spent a lot of their career debunking psychic powers as well, because they don't believe in any of that. For me, going on Penn and Teller was a dream. I remember I saw my first Penn and Teller performance by Sean Farquhar, and he fooled them, and that just blew me away. I really loved the concept of the show. So it became a dream of mine to be specifically on Fool Us on Penn and Teller. And I spent many years, probably about 5 years, trying to get on the show, submitting different ideas and submitting different things while finding myself as a performer and who I really was. Now, when I first started submitting, the whole psychic debunking thing wasn't even part of what I had in mind. It wasn't until COVID hit that I started to make TikTok content and I started to debunk psychics directly on that app. And that basically blew up. And that caused me to kind of shift focus and say, well, I love doing this. I'm passionate about replicating these psychic abilities, debunking them, teaching people the techniques that they use. Because as a mentalist, I use many of the same techniques. The only difference is I do it strictly for entertainment, and I tell people that what I'm doing is not real. James Randi said it best: a magician is an honest liar. We tell you we're going to fool you, and then we do. Whereas a psychic medium, they use the same exact techniques, but they're telling you that they're speaking to someone who has passed away, which I just find disgusting and wrong. Once I found my sort of niche and what I wanted to do and bring content that I was passionate about to other people, that's when I had the idea, wait a second, Penn and Teller have the same mindset. They don't believe in psychics, they love to see it debunked. So then I thought, well, hang on, what if instead of trying to fool Penn and Teller, I attempt to replicate psychic abilities that I know aren't real, that I know Penn and Teller know aren't real, and then I have Penn and Teller try to debunk and expose me. Thus, if they do, which is what I was hoping, then they're exposing those abilities to everyone else watching. Now I want to share with you my experience going through the entire process, from the moment of submitting to rehearsal and then getting on the show and filming it. So when I submitted my new idea, the producers seemed to love it. They gave me a call, we talked over the phone, and we scheduled a live Zoom meeting where I basically rehearsed my trick, my routine, in front of them live. What's interesting is the first script is massively different than what ended up happening, and totally different tricks. But the same idea of, doing psychic powers was there the entire time. And the idea of having Penn and Teller flat out say exactly how I'm doing what I'm doing without using code, which was a Penn and Teller first. So after working on the script, redoing it, adding in new tricks, taking out tricks, we finally settled on a final script that was cut down and just made perfect for TV. And that's the one you see on the show. I spent literally months in preparation to be on TV. I rehearsed this so much that I feel like I could have done it in my sleep, which came in handy because when people saw me on there, that was my first time on, national television, and I honestly was very nervous. Not only was I debuting on national television, but now I was meeting, two of the biggest legends in magic that had a huge influence on me. So I was very nervous on the inside, but watching it and people telling me that I looked very confident, that I looked like I wasn't nervous at all, and that I was very calm, which is hilarious because on the inside, I was terrified. But I was basically running on autopilot, and that was all the rehearsal, and that really helped a lot, just being able to go on autopilot, do what I needed to do, go through the script. So after rehearsing, I was given a date to fly down to Las Vegas. They flew me down, gave me a hotel. Now, because of COVID, I couldn't bring anyone, so I had to go by myself. Which, again, made me a little bit more nervous because usually I go places with my wife, who at the time was pregnant. So leaving her and flying down by myself was a little bit scary. But once I checked into my hotel, I felt really comfortable and basically just went back to work on rehearsing. I had all my props and everything, so I got to work and just practice and practice. Basically just said the script over and over again. It was my first time in Las Vegas, but again, because of COVID, I couldn't really do much, which was fine by me because I really enjoyed just sitting in the hotel and rehearsing and, you know, grabbing some food once in a while. So I was there for, I think, 3 days. The first day was just, you know, getting there. The second day, I had to do kind of my interview filming, which was pretty cool, you know, doing some magic in front of the camera and then talking about myself and what I plan on doing on Fool Us. And then came the actual filming day. I basically slept the entire day. My filming wasn't until night, but I was just so, I guess, anxious to get it over with and actually do the thing that I basically just slept all day until it was time to get ready, head down, and start filming. So I will never forget this moment because, you know, you get ready in the backstage area and they're setting you up, they're, you know, putting the mics on you and everything. And I remember hearing the performer that was out there before me. And I had no idea what was going on, but all I know is as I was walking up and getting ready, a little dog came by wearing a costume. And it turns out it was on the show, which is hilarious. But that immediately calmed me down because it was just such a funny thing to see right before I went out filming. But I'm in the back and, you know, I'm kind of, you know, taking deep breaths, calming myself, and I get out onto the stage and it was surreal. This moment was just, I couldn't believe it. Just walking out there and seeing, you know, the huge set, like the cameras and the lights, and seeing myself up on the big screen. Then the moment comes where Penn and Teller come out and Allison Hannigan joins me on stage. Penn and Teller waved and they said hello, I said hi back, and I greeted Allison and we got ready to film. The producer said, all right, go ahead. Allison says her intro and I get started. Now here's the craziest thing, and this is something that you did not get to see. Thank God, because it was the most embarrassing moment of my life. So if you haven't watched it yet, definitely go check it out. Go watch it on my channel. But if you did watch it, you know that the first trick I do is replicating telekinesis. And there's a piece of paper on a needle under glass, and it begins to move. Well, when I first did that, this was the first take, I came out, did my introduction, I go out and I say, and I'm going to attempt to move this with my mind. And I get behind the glass and behind the paper, and I start making the motions, making the paper move. And nothing happened. I mean, it felt like 30 minutes, but it must have been probably like 2 minutes passed, and nothing was happening, and I started to get so nervous. I barely could like control I was like shaking, like terrified, thinking that they were just gonna be like, all right, get out, go home. This was a waste of time. But after what felt like forever and nothing was happening, I stood up and I said, yeah, can we start over? I messed up. They laughed. Everyone laughed because I was feeling so much tension at this moment. Everyone laughed and they said, "Oh, of course, absolutely." We reset, and obviously this moment made me really. I was like, "Oh my God, what if I can't do it? What's going on?" But I calmed myself and I said, "All right, you got this. Like, just calm yourself, relax. This will work." So I calmed myself, and then the next take is what you actually see on TV, where everything went according to plan. So aside from that, it was absolutely amazing, absolutely surreal, and I remember leaving the stage and just thinking like, oh my God, like I did it. There it was. That was probably the best moment of my life. Everyone was amazing, but all the producers, everyone who helped out on the actual set, PENN and TELLER, Allison Hannigan. It was an awesome experience, and who knows, maybe one day I'll be back and maybe I'll actually try to fool PENN and TELLER this time. Now, I also want to take this moment to tell you that even though I make most of my content over on TikTok, that is going to change. I plan on making more long-form content here on YouTube where I will be breaking down psychic readings as we watch them together and react. I'll also be exposing things like telekinesis and remote viewing here in longer videos. So if that's something you're interested in, please like and subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all of the challenges that I issue, as well as learn sneaky techniques that psychics use to fool people and scam them out of their money. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.